Hi, it's Anna-Zeka here, and today I'm going to show you how to make a tri-shutter card using cardstock, pen and paper, and an adorable stamped image from some article. So let's just get started. What you need first of all is a cardstock that you've trimmed to 6 inches and 12 inches. And you put the cardstock on your score pile on the 12-inch side. And you start by scoring at 2 inches, 4 inches, 8, and 10. Then you should have these 4 score lines. Okay, and let's move this out of the way. And now we are going to take this cardstock on the 12-inch side and cut 1 inch from the 12-inch side, and we're going to cut from the first score line to the next one. So keep it at 1 inch. And then we start by cutting from the first score line to the last. So it should look like that. And don't worry if it doesn't go all the way, I just use my craft knife to finish it off. And repeat this on the other side as well. So 1 inch again from the first score line to the last. So it should look like that. Get my mat here. And as you see, I haven't scored the whole thing. Oh, sorry, cut the whole thing. So I'm just going to take my craft knife and cut the remaining little bit. So I have the whole thing, and then check on the other side. Missing, I think, on both sides. Yes, check this one, turn it around, and this side. And then what you have is this 2 cut lines here, and you have your 4 score lines. So you start by taking this and folding on all the score lines. I usually just do it like that. There we go. I like to do it an accordion fold. And such. Then to the other side. And on that score line. And I've scored all 4 lines. So it should look like this. Now we need to switch it up. We need to decide what is going to be on the front. So this is going to be the front. Then I want the centerpiece to go up. Then I take these and fold these back. Then basically, if you have this, look, you want the opposite of that to be here. So the larger one goes under, and this one goes over. So you should be able to get flat, and these above should look like that. Basically all folds should be opposite, and I like to crease my folds very securely. So your card should look like this, like that. So basically these small flaps go under, the larger over, the larger under, the smaller over. So you have it like, it's like steps really. You get one down and like that. So you have these. This one goes up, this goes under, this flap under, and these over. So it should look like that. Then you need to cut your pattern paper. I usually cut all my papers. I decorate one pattern paper here, one here, one here, one long here, and here, the same as you can decorate. This is the inside of the card, so you can decorate that or leave it blank, absolutely up to you. I usually cut these about 1/8 of an inch smaller, so it has a bit of a frame, and I am going to get my pattern paper now. I'm going to be using the Delight collection by Prima Marketing, and I'm using the 6x6 papers, but of course you can use 12x12, 8x8, whatever you have on hand. Just remember that the largest part of this is 6 inches high, so you need 5 7/8 at the length. So basically this is the smallest size you can get away with creating the card with. So I've chosen these 3 pattern papers. I'll turn them right side. And you can do this with, use one paper to cover the front, another inside. I like to use 3 different kinds, just what I prefer, but of course you'll do whatever you like. So just decide what to use up front. So I think I'm going to use the blue ones for the front of the card. So let's start by seeing what it looks best. I'm thinking I'm going to cut this one. This paper is going to be for this one. So start by cutting. This is 2 inches wide, so I'm going to cut at this at, yeah, I think that's more than it. I have this at 1 inch and 3/4. And then another one. I'm sorry. 1 inch and 3/4. And then I need to cut this at 5 inch and 3/4. See if that fits. Then you get a larger frame than with the 1/8. And 5 inches. 3/4. Now these 2, and the middle piece is 4 inches in height, so I'm going to cut that. Of course, start with the 2 inches wide as well. Got this at 1 inch and 3/4. And another one, 1 inch and 3/4. And then the length is 4 inches. Then I cut this at 3 inches and 3/4. And 3 inches. 3 3/4, and that fits perfectly for the middle. We have these 2, and next I'm gonna cut this long portion. That's gonna be 4 inches, or this is 4 inches wide and 1 inch. 4 inches length and 1 inch wide. So I start by cutting this at 3/4. Then we have it at 4 inches, then at 3 3/4. And then I want to keep this little box in the same pattern, so that it's already cut in the correct width, and this is 2 inches, so that is 1 inch and 3/4. Take the smaller piece, 1 inch and 3/4. See that it's correct, and that should fit here. Do this another one. So this is cut at 3/4. Probably better cutting this at 1 inch and 3/4 first, and then 3 inches at 3 3/4. Now all I have left to cut are 2 of the smaller ones, because then I cut these at 3 4/4 and 1 inch and 3/4, and the final piece 1 inch and 3/4. Now we have the card base. I can start by placing these where I want them to be. So I'll get these 2 over here, and the flower pattern on this, and then these smaller ones, larger ones in the middle, and such. Now I'm just going to ink all the edges and glue these to the cardstock. And I finished inking all the edges, and I used Tim Holtz Distress ink in Victorian Velvet. And they're all glued down, so this is how the card will look like when it's shut and then when it's open. And as some of you may know, I do love my doilies, so I'm gonna use a doily on this one. And again, I'm using my Distress ink, and I'm just inking this cute doily up. I really like using the Distress inks on these doilies. Kind of gives them such more life, really, and they can match anything you are using. And I'll be placing this in the center and adding some flowers and stuff, and I plan on using this Some Odd Girl. This is a Diggy stamp, and I really love how she's sitting and looking all so pretty. It'll be perfect with these papers as well. So I'm going to get her coloured, and then I'll be back. Yeah, I've already added the doily in the centre, and I've coloured up my fairy using Copic markers, and I put 3D foam on the back. And these are the colours I used for the skin. and I used these colors for her dress, and her eyes using these colors. And then I used these colors for her hair. And these for the wings. And I also used C0 to draw shadows around her. I always do that because I don't like it to be too white around her. Not sure if you can actually see that, but I see the difference, so I prefer doing that so it's not white. So I'm planning on having her sitting on this beautiful Prima flower. Just planning on something like that. So I already added score tape to the back of this flower. I'm giving it somewhat like this. And the plan is to have a sit on that flower. So I can take this 3D foam, take the backing off. Sorry if the sun makes the colors a bit off. It's sunny today for some reason, well, in between rain. But hopefully these are alright. So I'm gonna put Alexis sitting on this beautiful flower. Just making sure that stick it to the flap. Okay, then I'm gonna add these two Prima sparkly ones as well. Since she's a fairy, she should sparkle a bit too. At least I think so. So I'm just figuring out the placement for these. I don't want this to be hidden, so I'm thinking maybe here. Where's this here? Oh, we need a bit of sparkle here, so I'll just use 3 instead of 2. Do you know what? Use more flowers and glitter, right? Or at least I think so. So I get the backing off the score tape. So let's add this one here. Yeah, this comes from up behind. That might look good. If I ever get the backing off, that is. Okay. There we go. There we go. It's actually sitting on the flowers. Sorry for the glare. Okay. I'm also going to add these Prima crystals to Because all fairies should sparkle. Lots. Or at least I like the excuse to use a lot of it. Let's see. I would have this peeking from behind the flower. On the top. And maybe next to her as well. Let's do these kind of circle kind of things. Let's come from here. Add some here too. Maybe maybe a bit too much. I might add this one at the top. Maybe get this like that. And just add another one down here. Maybe have these come down like 3 in a row. And try that. Third one coming down as well. Okay. So this is the final look of the card to the front. And then you open it up. You can add your sentiment, picture, whatever you want in here. Then you have a bit of sparkle here on the inside as well to match the front. So hope you like this little tutorial, and if you share if you make a card, I would love to see, so please link me up so I can see and leave a comment. Thank you for watching. Bye.